I was in church one day, right? And we're having a small group meeting and we were all divided and we were talking about forgiveness. And I remember we were talking and I said, hey, we should be forgiving. Yeah, we should forgive people. It doesn't necessarily mean that we should forget. And out of nowhere, one of the pastors came up. Like, no, you have to forgive. Like literally with the whole emotion, like the whole like I'm not even exaggerating. No, if you truly have forgiven somebody, then you have to forget. If you haven't forgotten, it means that you haven't forgiven. And at that time, I was just like, oh my God, maybe he's right. Maybe this, maybe that. But as I've grown in the faith and I'm reading my Bible more and beginning to realize the characteristic of God and all that stuff, I realized that every time we forgive, if we were to forget, what's going to happen? We're just going to keep repeating the same things over and over and over again. Somebody they literally showed you the entire deck. They showed you all their hands and every little thing. And what do? You forget everything that they have done just in the name of forgiveness. And guess what? You're going to get the same burn, the same scars, the same betrayal, the same pain over and over again. Yes, we should forgive, but it doesn't necessarily mean we should forget. The reason why you have that memory of what happened is so that you won't repeat that same thing again. So it is not just because you remember what they did doesn't necessarily mean you haven't forgiven. But how do you know you truly have forgiven somebody? Is each time you hear their names, each time you encounter them or you think of the scenario, there's this thing called peace that resides inside of you. Unlike, when you haven't forgiven, you get all boiled up and you get upset just by thinking about it. That's how you know something ain't right. So guys, listen, you can forgive, but it doesn't necessarily mean you should forget. Because when you forget, you are bound to repeat it again.